All right, today we're gonna do quick dimensions of the human body. So on average is about 8 heads tall, okay? So you wanna make sure when you're drawing a human figure that you get the dimensions right or it's not going to look right to the eye. So over here I've drawn 8 heads, right? And these lines tell you kind of where those heads should end up. So usually what I like to do is draw my figure and then kind of check it with the size of the heads and make sure that it's approximately 8 heads tall. So we've got first head here, obviously size of your normal head, and then the next head goes down to about the breastbone, and then the waist or the elbow. Next one is at the groin or the wrist, okay? And then next one, mid-thigh, bottom of the knee, mid-calf, and then bottom of the feet, all right? And what we're gonna do is we are going to draw the limbs, the arms and legs, with these little ovals at the joints, okay? And I'm gonna show you why in a minute, but those little ovals allow you to be able to shape the arms any way you want, or the legs any way you want, and still feel like you're making it look right, okay? So let's do this together. So we're gonna start by drawing in a head. And just like you did when you were drawing a head before, you want to keep a nice loose hand. I'm going to draw a little bit darker so that you can see it on the video, but you want to keep your drawing nice and light so you can erase, okay? And while we're at it, we'll just draw that line of symmetry on the head and then the eye line. Remember, the eye line wants to go at the halfway point, okay? And then we're going to do a little neck here. So draw in 2 lines for your neck. And now we're gonna do the top part of the torso. So you wanna draw a horizontal line. And then the shape that we're doing is kind of like an upside down trapezoid, okay? Kind of like that. So go ahead and draw that in. And if you were trying to draw a male figure, your shoulders would usually be a little wider. If you're doing a female figure, your shoulders are a little narrower. Okay, and then from there, you're gonna draw another little trapezoid. This one wants to be right side up with kind of a rounded bottom edge. Okay? And now we need some limbs. Okay, so remember what I said, we're gonna do little ovals where the joints are. So small oval here, and it's okay if your proportions aren't absolutely true and right at this point, but you kind of want to draw the top part of that arm about down to the waist, put another oval, and then draw in the forearm, okay? Another oval, and we'll do hands later, okay? And then add your arm on the other side, small oval for the shoulder. And this time, try changing the shape of the arm a little bit, and you'll see it doesn't really matter which direction you go, as long as right around the waist, put another oval. And this time I'm gonna try and kind of change the shape of my arm so it's gonna come up. Okay, and remember this is a rough sketch. You would go back in later and add all of the curves to the body, okay? Another oval here at the hand, okay? And then you could put him waving or giving a thumbs up or whatever you want. But again, save those details for later. Right now we're just trying to get the basic outline sketch, okay? Now let's do the legs. So here at the hip, again, you want a large oval on both sides. This represents the hip. And then we're gonna bring the thigh down and then put another oval for the knee, okay? And then the calf, and another oval at the ankle. We'll stop right there and do the other one, and then we'll kind of do both feet at the same time. So thigh on this side, knee, and calf. Again, you can go back in later and add more sort of muscular structure, add calves, add curves, add clothes, okay? This is just the basic outline. All right, so let's add some feet real quick because feet always tend to trip kids up. You don't want to do your typical like shoe facing straight out to the side because no one actually stands like that, maybe unless you're a ballet dancer. So feet tend to start here at this little ankle and come straight down, get a little bit wider, and they can also face out just a tiny bit, a little bit wider towards the bottom. Again, nice, loose, sketchy hand. Okay. Anytime you have something coming straight toward you like that, like a foot, it's called foreshortening. And foreshortening is tricky. Okay? You can add some hands, and your hands can get as detailed as you want. You could just kind of do like a little fist with some fingers, or you could do, at this point, kind of a paddle for a hand. Pretend this person's wearing a mitten, okay? But again, right now we're not going for super detailed. We are just going for loose outlines and shapes and trying to get the proportions right. So at this point, you want to stop and you want to ask yourself, how are my proportions doing? Does this look like it could be a real human, or is my head too small? Right now I feel like maybe my head's just slightly small. You can also take your pencil and measure and see if your person is about 8 heads tall. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretty darn close, all right? Next lesson will be on adding more details and maybe changing the shape or the gesture of the body, all right?